Out of what we're doing as we continue. There's some pretty big news. I'm not talking about the Trump thing. That's big. I'm not even talking about the Oakland mayor firing the police chief. That's huge news, too.
Enormous.
That was going to be my lead today until the Trump grand jury summary dropped. And the Oakland mayor dumping now, he was mired in controversy because essentially it suggested, Kim, you can fill in a lot of these blanks, please. Mm-hmm. But he was slow to handle misconduct charges that were levied against his officers. Isn't that fair to say?
I believe this all stems from one particular officer and the internal investigation against an officer who was involved in a car accident with, I believe, a neighbor and tore a fender off someone's vehicle, and then was in the Oakland Police Department when his gun went off, allegedly accidentally. So you have these two incidents involving this one officer, and Oakland Police Chief LeRon Armstrong says there was a thorough investigation, everything done by the book, but other allegations say no. Armstrong allowed this investigation to end too quickly.
Yeah, what book is that it was done by? Apparently the book where you're allowed to fire off your weapon and not have an investigation into an accident?
I mean, he says there was an investigation. I don't know what whether it's personnel matters, so you don't know what the disciplinary action was against the officer or what, but apparently people think that more action should have been taken.
He was put on leave, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, and it was after the report that he was put on leave. Like sometimes they're put on leave, while we investigate. They did the investigation, then they put him on leave. So I don't know. I think was
there some kind of cover up? Was there some kind of let's protect this officer type of thing happening? Or was it by the book? Who knows?
Well, what's happened is there was a bunch of clamor to get rid of him because of the things that Kim has detailed. And now, there's a bunch of clamor to tell the mayor, how can you do this? You're going around the police commission. How can you take this action? Is it a racial thing that's been introduced, So there's a lot wrapped up in that Oakland PD story, but he's been fired. And Kim will continue to update that through the morning. But they're really
outraged over it, by the way. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying he's not contrite or apologetic for anything the way anything was handled. He's saying, hey.
He insists he did it right. And now he's outraged that he's been fired. And I will say it seems awfully quick, unless there's things we don't know about his performance that, this one incident would lead to his ouster.
Yeah, I don't know.
They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for.
Well, they do it all the time in a way. In Oakland, they run through top cops.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Haven't they had like 10 police chiefs in 10 years or something? Like, get another. Sorry, your year's up, sir.
Yeah.
You're out.
Well, you know what doesn't happen much? You don't get a major announcement like the one that has hit those morning TV viewers. You don't get a major announcement.
A major announcement from the Mark Thompson Show.
Yes.
A major announcement.
I will share it with you. I will share it with you as a former colleague of Ryan Seacrest on American Idol. Yeah, I know it seems incredible, but I was a big part of that show. I know. Until Ryan decided that he wanted to do all the voiceover at the beginning of the show, and I was the big announcer. So Ryan, who's still very much on American Idol, he's he's the host.
Yeah,
along with the judges. Oh, yeah. Last night, they sang their hearts out. Tonight, one goes home. Who stays? Who goes? Find out next, live on American Idol. Thank you. All right, now, here is what he... Thank you. It's my only skill. So I'm going to share with you this big news from Ryan Seacrest. He's leaving the show that he does with Kelly Ripa. Live, they call it. Live with Kelly and Ryan. I didn't watch the show. I think he's a talented guy. He's super handsome, okay? So right away, I find myself coming at this story. He's super handsome, has an incredibly successful radio show, host of American Idol, host of everything. His production company does Shahs on Sunset, a bunch of other stuff. So he's really broadened, and it was his articulated purpose to broaden his reach, sort of a la Dick Clark, right? Who was an on-camera guy, but also had Dick Clark Productions and did a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. He hosted the New Year's Eve show, right? And then he gets this other thing, Live with Kelly and Ryan, which is an immensely successful franchise, syndicated to all these markets, carried on the ABC-owned stations, and he's drenched in more money and success and fame. So you can imagine, I'm going to play you what he said this morning, and I'm going to break it down for you. But I also want you to understand that my breakdown comes from a place of immense jealousy and envy, okay? So I'm up front about it.
That's not fake. That's real.
Yes, right. But I'll try to be as objective as I can be, even though I am melting down with jealousy and envy.
I don't think,
you can do
should
it. I think you can handle it.
for how you
Okay.
feel.
Yeah.
All right, Albert, let's show them a little bit of Ryan Seacrest farewell today, or his announcement today that he will be saying farewell.
So Kelly and I have some news here. This is something that she and I have been talking about for a long time, and it was a tough decision. Last year, we spoke, and I made the decision to make this my last season as co-host with Kel here on Live with Kelly and Ryan, which is bittersweet.
What?
All right, stop right there. Stop right there. He is expecting, I think, that audience reaction, which is sort of like, what? Like, oh, right? He kind of almost took a little hiccup for it, and it didn't come. All right? I'm not saying that audience doesn't love him. They do, okay? But it was just a weird moment where you're expecting that, what? You're expecting an audience reaction. And maybe they reacted and you couldn't hear it. I don't know. But then he said something, it's bittersweet. I want to hear how it's bittersweet. I get that it's sad to leave, Kim? But why did he say it's bittersweet? What's the sweet part? Are you announcing something else? Are you...
Well, it has to be sweet for a guy with 8,000 jobs to finally let one big one go.
Right.
I mean,
right. It's sort of like, hello, it's sweet because I'm going to go back and sleep on a pound of money. All right, let's go. Let's go back a little bit, just Albert. Can you go back 10 seconds? And here we go.
Kelly and Ryan, which is bittersweet.
I get it. No, I mean, listen, you are a gem. You are one of my best friends. And I said, like, the greatest part of this entire experience has been that you've gone from being a friend to a family member.
I feel that way.
You are
I
family
feel that way
to
about
us.
both of us.
Yeah.
It's remarkable to be able to sit in this chair. So what I plan to do is once American Idol starts from Los Angeles live later in the spring, I'll head out to the West Coast and host that show, the 21st season of American Idol from Los Angeles. And you're not getting rid of me because, Gelman, I'm coming back to guest host and fill in right here in this chair. But I have to say to you as a dear friend coming in, but as a best friend, in this moment, to have your kindness, your thoughtfulness, your levity, your friendship. I look up to you.
That's nice.
I respect you so much. I love the fact that we get a chance to sit here every day and connect with you at home in your kitchens, in your living rooms, at work. There's nothing like this on television. I'm getting emotional. I promised Kelly I would not cry.
All right. I mean, it's good. Stop 1 second, Albert. I do have to. I've just gotten a little. Thank you, A. Maldonado. Live with Kelly and Ryan have not had a live audience since COVID, I'm told. So the audience reaction take that I had is really, you can throw it out. Okay, I didn't know that. I think at the end of this, there's applause, though. That's weird. I don't know. Yeah, okay. But all right. I may listen to KGO until this segment is over, says Michael Farley. How dare you? How dare you? This is something that affects American culture, the fabric of pop culture.
You do not know
Michael,
what you are talking about.
Go ahead. Roll some more of it, please, Albert.
Which have been here long before me. They come in every day with a great attitude, with a lot of fun, with a lot of laughs, and we put the show on. And I have to tell you, I never thought a television show.
Let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead. I watched it before, so you can skip ahead without missing. Go ahead.
Exhausting it is, going back and forth, and I fully understand.
I mean, it's exhausting going back and forth, Los Angeles to New York. But when you're doing it on a private plane,
I committed to 3 years.
He was supposed to be here for 3 years. He's like, we're just like, oh, don't be ridiculous. I mean, you already moved your sofa here.
But 3 turned into 6 because of the genuine fun of being on this television show every hour of every weekday.
And the money was so
and we
big.
Have really exciting news to add to this.
We do. We do.
I love this part too.
This is the shocking twist.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. Albert, I didn't see this.
Lean in case.
Stop for a second, Albert. Stop for a second. I think they're just going to announce that it's Mark Consuelo, her husband, who's going to do. Isn't that the shocking news?
A major announcement from the Mark Thompson Show.
It's a second major announcement within the other major announcement. Go ahead, Albert, please.
I'm having those feelings right now in the gut.
Because we are so aware of the importance of continuity and consistency and the familial vibe that we all have here. It only makes sense to not just our viewing audience at home, but our audience here within our staff,
our support
already. System, our extended family.
I get
to
it.
Bring in somebody that we know
Mark
and
Consuelo.
love, and who's really always been here and really just
one of my favorite people.
An extension of you, if
so
you will.
self-indulgent, though. It just is hard.
I can think of that is capable of, holding.
Oh my God! Okay.
Holding your torch the way you have held it, and that would be my husband, Mark Consuelo.
Well, there is an audience there. You hear it?
That sounds like a live audience to me, Mark.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you say Mark Consuelos is going to hold his torch?
In what Ryan and I are calling the nation's weirdest social experiment.
All right, everybody.
Iron rod.
It just does feel self-indulgent. That said, they are beloved by so many. So I don't mean to, and I'm telling you, everything that I'm saying and the way I look at it is filtered through that prism of jealousy and envy. I mean, I think to have that forum, it's a shame, though. I feel as though if I were Seacrest, if it were me, I would try to I'd try to do some kind of news platform or something. You know what I mean? Especially at a time when journalism is so threatened. But I feel like he's just a big entertainment mogul, which is fine.
He's not really a news guy,
Yeah.
He's entertainment. He's kind of fluff.
He's a smart guy. And I mean, I think, probably when you get to that level, you get jacked up on your own BS. And there was a lot of that in that moment. On the other hand, people tune in for that, for them to talk about how much they are family and all of that. So
I think this is his fault. I think this is a guy who's completely overextended himself. Every time someone calls to offer him a job, he must say yes. I can't even imagine that there's ones he's turned down. I was mentioning to you recently that I was watching a Disney Christmas special with my kids. Who's hosting the show? There he is, Ryan Seacrest in his Mickey sweater.
Right.
I mean, the guy is everywhere. And so if you overextend yourself, you're not going to be able to do all these jobs, and the big ones like Live with Kelly and Ryan, are going to suffer for it.
Maybe. I mean, I think he does a pretty good job, I have to say. I mean, I'd love to criticize. I think he really does a good job. And again, Lee says that producers and crew make up the audience since COVID. So that's it. I see. Okay. So that's what we're hearing with the applause and everything. It's not that I think he's bad at all. It's just that it's, Anyway, it's a big, major announcement. Those who watch that show, there you have it. Look, I thought Strahan was great, and he also says yes to everything. Strahan's on everything. He's on the NFL Today. He's on, he was on the show when it was before Ryan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought Strahan was good. And then he hosts that Pyramid and everything else he hosts. So I don't know. I understand it. You want to strike while the iron's hot. You want to say yes to things. I think Ryan does a pretty good job. Again, I don't watch the show, but it's so saccharine. It's so... And thank you for saying this, Elise, because I was going to make our headline today, Seacrest out. But I didn't know how many people remembered on Idol. He used to always go, Seacrest out. Then he dropped it at some point, right? But he is truly out now. How would you feel?
This has been a major announcement. The Mark Thompson Show. Major announcement.